It starts with silence, the kind of silence that rests heavy over the water, the Sea of Galilee gentle, timeless, familiar. These are the same waters where fishermen once cast their nets, the same waters where Jesus walked, where storms bowed to his command. But today something feels different. The surface gleams, not with the ordinary shimmer of sunlit ripples, but with a hue so strange, so unsettling, it halts everyone in their tracks. The water looks red, not faintly, not slightly red like blood. The images spread in seconds. Tourists gasp, locals freeze, phones rise, capturing what words cannot. Some whisper prayers under their breath, others simply stare, unable to decide whether this sight is miraculous or terrifying. Because this is not just water, this is Galilee, the heart of the Gospel's geography. To see it now transformed, glowing like wine in the fading light, feels like stepping into a vision scene where beauty and dread collide. It's as though the lake itself is crying out, not with sound but with color, a crimson voice painted across its surface. Scientists move quickly to explain. They call it an algal bloom, a microscopic organism, Bricoccus browni, that under rare conditions releases a deep red pigment. They say it requires the perfect alignment, water temperature, nutrient balance, stillness. And when all those elements collide, the bloom spreads, staining the lake. The explanation is logical. But even the experts admit such a phenomenon here in Galilee is unheard of. The historical record offers no precedent. This is not a stagnant pond. It is a living freshwater lake, fed by tributaries, renewed constantly, and yet here it is transformed before our very yes. So yes, science may tell us how, but it cannot tell us why here, why now, because the location is everything. This is not some anonymous lake. This is the Sea of Galilee, the place where Jesus called out to Peter, the place where he multiplied loaves and fish, the place where storms yielded to his voice, and now this sacred water shimmers in crimson, not faintly, but boldly, like a living symbol, coincidence, or message, nature's accident, or heaven's warning, and here Scripture begins to stir. We've seen this picture before, not in modern video clips, but in the sacred pages of history. Exodus 7:20, Moses strikes the Nile, the waters turn to blood, fish die, the river stinks, the people cannot drink. This was no mere algae bloom, this was judgment, a warning to Pharaoh that defiance carried consequence. The very river that gave Egypt life became a source of death overnight. Centuries later, the Apostle John would record a vision. On Patmos, he saw a world under judgment. In Scripture, red waters are never random. They are symbols, the color of blood, the color of sacrifice, and the color of warning. But this is not the Nile. This is not a vision on a distant island. This is Galilee, a place of peace, a place of miracles, a place forever tied to Christ himself. So when its waters run crimson, the weight of meaning cannot be ignored. Some will dismiss it. Others will lean in, because timing matters. And when you lift your eyes beyond Galilee, you begin to see a pattern, a convergence of signs that feels eerily familiar to the prophecies written thousands of years ago. Consider the Euphrates River, once mighty, now shriveled, its waters receding so far that dry riverbeds crack under the sun. For centuries, Revelation 16:12, the great river Euphrates dried up to prepare the way for the kings of the East, was dismissed as impossible. How could such a river vanish? Yet today, satellite imagery confirms the impossible is unfolding. Consider the earthquakes, the tremors growing stronger, more frequent, reshaping both remote islands and crowded cities. Jesus warned in Matthew 24:7 of earthquakes in diverse places. Birth pains, he called them, and like contractions, they grow sharper as the end approaches. Consider the strange sounds, trumpet-like blasts echoing in cities across the world from Jerusalem to New York. Science offers guesses, seismic resonance, atmospheric shifts, industrial noise, yet Revelation 8 speaks of trumpet blasts heralding judgment. Coincidence, perhaps, but even skeptics admit the timing unsettles. And then, the skies, the aurora borealis, once confined to the Arctic Circle, has danced far south, painting skies over Europe, Asia, even the Middle East, in waves of crimson, green, and violet light. Scientists attribute it to solar storms, But Luke 21:25 reminds us of signs in the sun, moon, and stars before the coming of the Son of Man. Meanwhile, over Jerusalem itself, strange lights pulse and hover, caught on camera, witnessed by many. Some call them natural, others not so sure. And in Israel, prophecy takes form in stone and fabric. The Temple Institute has rebuilt the sacred instruments of worship, the golden menorah, silver trumpets, priestly garments. Architectural plans for a third temple are ready. Even the red heifer absent for thousands of years has reappeared. Flawless, raised under watchful eyes, cosinetance, or prophecy inching closer to reality. But the signs are not only in nature or in Israel, they are in us. Paul warned in 2 Timothy 3 that the last days would be marked by pride, greed, arrogance, disobedience, a love of pleasure rather than a love of God. And today, headlines echo his words like a mirror. Crime soars, violence spreads, nations rage, morality fractures, wars smolder around Israel's borders, pulling global powers into its orbit again and again, and technology. It advances at lightning speed. Biometric IDs, digital currencies, global tracking systems. Revelation 13 describes a time when no one can buy or sell without a mark. That world once seemed impossible. Now, the infrastructure is here waiting. Taken alone, each event might be explained away. Together, they form a single picture. The picture of prophecy converging, the crimson Sea of Galilee, the drying Euphrates, the trembling earth, the strange signs in the heavens, the temple preparations, the moral collapse, the rising control, all woven into one tapestry, all echoing the same truth. What was written long ago is now unfolding in real time. Jesus warned us in Matthew 24. He compared the signs to the fig tree putting forth leaves. When you see them, you know summer is near. It is not just that these events are happening. It is that they are happening together, stacked, accelerating, pointing towards something. This is not meant to terrify. It is meant to awaken, because prophecy has always been God's trumpet to his people, as watchmen's call, a warning to prepare. We do not choose the age we live in, but we do choose how we live in it. And so the question cometh, the only question that matters: if Christ were to return tonight, would we be ready? We began with an image, a quiet afternoon, waves rippling in crimson over Galilee. At first, it was only a curiosity, a mystery of nature. But now, traced through Scripture and through the world around us, it feels far more profound. It feels like a reminder that God still speaks, not only through words etched on pages, but through the canvas of his creation. The heavens declare his glory. Prophecy is alive, signs are the trumpet. When it sounds, will you be ready?